Okay, I thought I'd give a quick follow-up, or maybe it's not going to be quick, but I thought I'd give a follow-up on my previous video. I've finished, or tentatively finished this animation that I was working on. Um, Here is the run cycle, and here is the shoot cycle. So generally speaking, I'm pretty happy with this. You kind of I'm unsure about the outline. I put a pretty heavy outline on this, and typically, like, I think I have a version of this with no outline. It's a little less polished, but I do have it. Um, Wait, is this, yeah, this is it, isn't it? I don't remember. Yeah, I haven't, there's a few things I haven't changed on this one, but you can see like it kind of looks a little bit nicer without the outline, but my kind of like argument here is that, and there's a few things, something isn't right here. I want to, on one hand, her dress is, there's some perspective going on here that I'm not like, I think this looks good where her waist is much smaller. I can cut those corners off. Like there's some polish I still need to do basically, but I'm pretty happy with the animation in general. Like, and I think the outline in a game like this where you really want the hero to be visible, I think it makes sense. Now, this night has just been kind of plaguing me, honestly. Like I just cannot, I think I showed in the previous video. I have like all these different variants of it. Um, what I keep coming back to though is I actually really liked how these feet look, even though my brother gave me feedback that these just don't look right. Um, so I did like a re-render, like you can see the difference here. I decided I think I want like the lighting to always come from the top, which is actually what I did here too. Instead of I had it like top left initially, but I think just coming from the top works better, especially because they're often going to be rotating horizontally. So I do think this looks better, although I will say it's like almost too, I think it's potentially just too detailed in the sense that like it almost looks like rotoscoping or something because I've rendered it like pretty aggressively. With that said, like this walk cycle, nothing really moves that much. And I can do things like move the spectral lighting around a little and it will look pretty nice, I think. Um, and I have this shield here also. But yeah, I think it looks better like this. So what I'm working on here and what I'll be doing in this video is just attempting to fix this walk cycle. I made the feet a bit bigger. I keep struggling to position these feet correctly. Like this foot is just not in the right spot. Um, and it almost doesn't matter because the shield is gonna, well, the other thing I did is I made his body a bit taller so that and I made his legs a bit bigger. And now I'm gonna put those boots on him. And so we will see. But I think it's gonna be important that I get this foot. Probably I need to get this in the right spot before I put a boot on it. Yeah, it's like okay. It's like on one hand, it should be a bit lower than this other foot because of the 3/4 perspective. Um, Actually, I think this foot is too far outside right now. So let me bring that entire leg in. I'll bring it in 2 pixels and see how that looks. That looks better. And honestly, I think this is like 1 pixel too low right now. Just bring it up and see if that looks right. That's about right. Okay. So what I'm trying to do right now is I took this boot I made it a little bit smaller. Although I almost want it to be bigger, but the thing is, I want a little bit of his leg to be visible because I actually um I went in and drew like the entire leg to give myself the confidence that it's that it's what's the word? I don't know what I'm trying to say. The confidence that the anatomy is right, that the angles are right and stuff like that. So I have this new layer which is just called boots, and I'm trying to redraw this like at this kind of angle right now. Um, and I really shouldn't need to redraw this too many times because this like make it's facing like forward, so it's actually going to be quite large. Mm, there's a bit of foreshortening going here, maybe like that. And then the top, mm, I'm trying to rotate this this object in my head here. I wonder if it's too much. I mean, the angle is a bit too extreme, I think. So you generally cannot rotate very much with pixel art. It's like I find it, I see a lot of like people on YouTube doing these rotations, and I'm just every time I do it, I'm like, yeah, fuck it. It's not it just doesn't I can redraw it faster than I can do that rotation, basically. And so I'm just kind of spitballing here, like I'm throwing in a few angles or and I might be able to use multiples of the like I don't remember what other angles I need, but maybe this is an angle I can use. Yeah, okay. Go up like this, just get some height on it. I'm just like squinting at it to see if it can look right. That just looks like a big cone, doesn't it? So I think the thing is like this has to be like almost like the perspective would be like that or something, right? And here I just have it, it's just lifted up too much. So if I maybe now it's looking almost like that, isn't it? And I actually had that kind of good on that one, like, but I'm trying to get the perspective in a bit so that it so like you can see the leg. This leg comes down and you lift the foot up. And honestly, like I probably want to start lifting the foot on this frame even. And then when it where's the one where it goes? This one should be actually like pointing down more. But anyway, let's I'm just going to try to outline this and see if I can get it roughly correct. So there would actually be like because of the perspective, there would be like a significant curving type of shape here. I don't I don't think I have that much space. This just feels too extreme again. Like let me see. It's like if I cut the top off a bit, It feels like I'm losing a lot of like there would be form there and I'm losing it, but it's a very weird perspective thing. That seems about right to me. Um, and then we can really the light wouldn't be hitting this very much, but I need to do something to get some form going. The darkest color I have available is I think we're on what color is this even? This one? Oh, it's this one. Okay. So I I could like go for a darker color here. I don't think it makes sense to, frankly. Um, I think the shape looks a little bit off also. Like I don't know. Let's see how it looks animated maybe. So I'm going to take this and paste it on this frame. I think that looks okay. Yeah, I like that actually. It might look a little bit goofy because it could be like it needs to just be here or something. And you can see some of the anatomy issue. Like then where's his leg? Like it needs to be below his body for sure. So this is up and then down. I feel like okay, maybe I just need to make the part of the foot smaller. Like this top part definitely needs to be bigger, at least to some noticeable extent. Uh, that looks okay. I think that's fine. Okay. And now for these other frames, I think I can just shrink it down. I'm not sure how much I can realistically shrink it um, without losing a bunch of shit. But we can, I think this is a case where I can just redraw the outline and be okay. Looks good. So what I'm kind of doing here is using these legs that I drew as a bit of a guide. Um, and now I think what I think I'll just make this even a little bit smaller, like just ever so slightly smaller for this next frame, just to create because it's moving back. It's moving back and away from the camera. And I'm kind of going crazy with the pasting here. Just pasting boots everywhere, but yeah. Okay, do that. And what I'll probably end up doing here is I'll kill the shading on this as I move it back, but I'm not going to do that yet. I want to make sure the positioning is right before I attempt any kind of rendering. And then here, um, I think I can just use the small boot again here, but move it back. Here we have a boot. So here, oops. I'm not gonna, I think I just want to grab that smallest boot again for that frame. I'm definitely planning on killing the shading when it's that far back anyway. I might go down to two colors, two values or whatever. Um, so I'm gonna make it smaller just as a remind myself that's what I have, you know. Same thing here. Make it smaller. Just position it wherever I want it to be. Here, I don't think I even need to draw it, honestly. And then here. So what I'm probably going to do now is I'm just going to put everything on the boots. Well, okay, that looks fine. I did say I wanted two frames of that. Let me see how that looks in motion. Hmm. And remember, this shield is here anyway. Like, oh, that. I'm going to try just keeping. Actually, let's try a smaller version of this shoe on the previous frame. Just see if that looks better. I'm really having the struggle because there's so much other shit going on that isn't ready, but I think it looks better like that. I think it does. Okay. So let's, I think I'm already using my darkest value on this. Yeah. So I can't really make that darker. I could do like that. And this is one thing where like maybe I intentionally cut some of the outline to like, you know, it's not a foreground object, so it doesn't need to have a ton of outline on it. Um, do I ever need boots to be above the body? Doesn't look like it. I'm gonna bring this down just so it's not in the way. But yeah, that looks better. This might be questionable, but like I think that's totally fine. Okay. So now what about these outlines? I'm not gonna worry about outline stuff right now. I just need to get that other foot in there now. So we have this, we can reuse that. Or which frame is it? It'll be this frame and this frame. Let's start with this one. Hmm. Now, technically, the perspective would be a little bit different on this leg. Um, but I think I can probably get away with not changing it. Now here, which layer is on top? Yeah. This is a little bit messy, but I'm just going to make a new boots layer and have two boots layers that I can just, I'm not thinking about which foot is which right now. I'm really just trying to make sure this looks right before I spend a bunch of time like getting it perfect. Because I can't tell you how many iterations of this sprite animations, how many animations I've gone through on this one sprite, and it just never looks right. So I want to get it before I need to convince myself. Oops, that's not the right one. I need to convince myself that it's going to look correct before I invest any kind of like significant time into it. All right. So that's this layer. I just need to copy that. And as soon as I add a second layer, I start getting really confused. Okay, we want this one here. Um, Kind of weird looking right now because I guess it doesn't look right. Something just doesn't look right. I'm gonna add all the boots in before I convince myself it's not looking right, but like it's really hard to look at a single frame like this and say it's not like when it's moving, it seems fine. But if I just look right now, if I look right there, I'm like, oh, something's off. But I actually don't think it is. Okay. So I want this slightly shrunk one off of the boots layer here. I have that in the clipboard, and now I can paste it into boots underneath, put it on there. That looks right. Probably like that. And now I want the really small one, which is this one. Got that. Go here, paste it here. Okay. And I'm immediately punished for chopping the top off of it earlier. No. Ah, okay. It just I'm getting used to Ace Sprite, but it still drives me crazy sometimes, frankly. Um, there's just certain things it does. It's one of those things like you when you want it to do a certain thing, it can't read your mind, obviously, and um, there's things where it's like you say, oh, why would it ever do that? But it's like it's literally doing that because that's like what you needed to do. Something like specifically here, that looks like it's like banding too much. Let's just like do that and throw that off a bit. Yeah, that looks like shit. Let's do that maybe. Oh, that looks really bad. Yeah, let's just. What do I have here that makes it work? Yeah, this is that one that I shrunk, so I lost like some fidelity, and there's not a really good answer here. There's just less shading is. Mm. I think the problem is that highlight shouldn't be in there, and we don't have this color at all. Can like that looks awful. I don't. Okay, I'm not like going crazy here. This is fine. I said I wasn't going to render right now anyway. I feel like this is a little bit too far to the left, but actually, like this leg movement, I guess it would be coming. Hmm, let's try it like that. Now we want the smaller foot again. Which is it this one? What's the smallest foot I have? Is that one? Oh, I'm gonna have to draw one of these. Or am I? Because actually the shield is here anyway. How much do I need to sweat this stuff? No, I don't really need to sweat it at all, do I? In fact, here, I think I can just, no, what? I paste that in there. Why is it going there? What is happening? This is another one of those A spray things. Like I'm looking at it. Okay. Oh, I want this one. I'm confirming it's this boot right here. I know something randomly is highlighted there, which shouldn't be. I'm specifically selecting boot underneath, copying it, clicking here and paste. Okay, it worked. All right. Just I think I can just move that. That looks like fine, maybe. Maybe it needs to move a bit more. Um, I just can draw there. I think, yeah, I think this needs to move a bit more. It's part of the issue here is like just the fact that you don't see as much highlight makes it look, oh, it's not, it's also because it's shrinking, but it makes it look like it's going up when it really isn't. Um, so maybe I'll just go up even more. Oh, it should be. No, it's going, I think I need to redraw it, right? That just looks really off. Yeah, let's just redraw it on this, starting on this frame. I can just redraw it, I think. That's not really what is happening. I have like, okay. So I want to use this one. Basically, it's the opposite of this. It's going to go down a bit. So technically, I wouldn't really draw the highlight getting bigger. That doesn't seem to make sense, but it might look correct if I just do it like that. Because I'm showing that this plane is stretching out and this one's getting smaller. I'm gonna do it like this. I'll just start off. So that would be about, I'm gonna keep it about the same width, but just make it less tall. And then this would be a little straighter. I will just use the highlight color for now to like show myself where the form is. It's not right. It honestly will be close to straight on. Like I can add a little bit of fudge later, but like it's mostly like straight if you take the shield away. Like that. Like it's just kind of pointing straight down in a sense. And then you would have like this coming around. It's almost like a This is like, yeah, this highlight color is like a problem. Probably what I actually want to do is use this color and just remove the highlight almost entirely. This looks kind of weird, but it doesn't look three-dimensional enough. I'm going to try to put it into the spot and see if it looks right. It's too big. I mean, that's like almost nothing, but it's not even where it is. Let's draw it in place instead of off here in the middle of nowhere. So I was telling myself it would be this frame, but that's not right. It doesn't go until this frame. Yeah, we have this whole like sequence here where it needs to be like that. Right. So start drawing in place here. So I'll make it, oops, erase that outline. This can, I think we want like that. This probably needs to have more of a toe on it. And there's going to be a shield here. Like, again, I don't really need this, like, as long as it looks like that is fine, basically. Okay. And then I think what I can do is like that, maybe. That looks about right, honestly. You could even, this might be a case where it's just better to like completely shade it out. And if I really want to like push it, I could do something like that because the shield is casting a shadow. Just give the hint of form, and this is like where the toe is poking out and hitting the light. I actually like that. And I think here, this becomes like a highlight color basically. This dark, what was the darkest color is now a highlight color because of the where would the highlight? Let's just like say maybe the light's hitting like that. I don't know why the light, it's like rim lighting or something. Probably not. I think it's better to do just carry that over, but make it smaller. Yeah. And then here, maybe just so you can see it moving. And I'm going to cover whatever. Oh, that's the other foot. All right. So I was like convincing myself this is fine now if I just take that smaller boot and paste it onto this layer. Oops, what? I don't get why that keeps happening. I like specifically only selected here. I'm right here, I'm here, I'm here, go here, paste here, okay. I need to erase the, yeah, and then we can kind of just start pulling the same trick with the lighting here. Boots underneath, this is the last frame. I'm just gonna nuke this leg here. Boots underneath. I guess I shouldn't have nuked it quite yet. Why does it keep pasting the entire other foot that I'm not copying? Like it's specifically just that layer. Okay, I don't know, man. So that's that A sprite finickiness that I don't quite get yet. Okay, so here, just bring this up. See if that looks right. No. What's going on? I shouldn't have I shouldn't have deleted that leg because we've got this needs to go right a lot, I guess. Yeah. Does that look correct at all? Hmm. It looks a little bit goofy. I think part of it is that we have this one is 2 frames of this. This one is only getting 1 frame of that. It's actually it's two, but you can't see it. Um, but I think this feels a little bit off to me. I think basically like you have these 3 frames, the foot is barely moving. So I'm gonna try this one. I'm gonna move it up a little bit more. This one, I'm also gonna move it up more. Oh, come on. This one. What? Where did it go? Okay. So I just draw the outline in again. I was kind of relying on that being there, but it's actually just in the way. Okay. How does that look? I can't tell, honestly. Like, we have this one leg there that's kind of weirdly there. The other issue is I haven't connected this new piece I drew to his body, so it's not moving with his body. I guess I have to connect that now. I don't like basically what I have to do is reanimate all of this. I'm just gonna leave all these random boots here for now. Maybe I'm not. Let's not do that. I don't want those there. If we need to recover those boots, they're there on various frames now. Okay. So this is a bit tedious. I haven't figured a better way to do this yet. Like basically you paste here, you go here, and then you just kind of have to remember that didn't work. What? This must have been on a different layer. That little lighting. Yeah, I drew it accidentally on a wrong layer. I think it's on the, where is it? It's on the layer, whatever layer one is. Oh, this one. Okay. I'm just gonna redraw it for now. Basically, what I'm gonna end up merging those 2 layers, but until then, we're just gonna do this. So like basically, I'm just like counting how many pixels does that go up. It goes up 1. I'm adjusting it. Copy. It goes down 1. Copy. Goes down and left 1. Copy. Goes up 1. It doesn't move. It goes forward. Okay. So now I'm going to do the shoot. You can barely tell, but this is like an example. I changed the lighting from like top right to top here. So I'm going to redo that now. Up and left. Up and left. Or why did I say left? I meant right, obviously. Up, And for the shield, like what I might try doing, and I do have to be careful about this, like a lot of this stuff just really doesn't matter that much, and I don't really need to worry that much about this level of detail. But I might like have some of the lighting move a little bit just to make it look more realistic. I'm probably not gonna like I probably just don't need to do that. I have so much to do on this game. It's going down to that I can't. Okay, I redid the shoulders as well. Okay, let's do those. Up and right, up, down and left, down, up. And so I'm hoping like as I get better at pixel art and animating that I won't need to take forever to do stuff like this as much. But I do also know that it's inherently a time consuming process. Okay. See if that looks okay. Yeah, it's fine. All right, now we just need to merge that skirt thing on with the rest of his body on every frame. And this one I can usually do like visually. Yeah, like we can just actually that little extra pixel is helping because what I can basically do is match that pixel, which is like a kind of a cool maybe when I'm like when I was counting or well that doesn't match. What? Oh, I know what the deal is here. We need to make sure I do that right then. So the thing is sometimes I'm not always moving the head in accordance with the body. So that's not going to work for every time. Um, but I can match like it's pretty easy to tell where it fits together, frankly. Like right there. And then I have to go back and remove that extra little dot on his head. What's going on here? Why is there a bunch of lines on his body there? It's from it must be the shoulder, no? Yeah, it's the shoulder. So not sure why that was there. Yeah, there's a few like weird aberrations happening on the shoulders that I'm gonna have to go in and manually uh, manually sort out at some point. But I'm not at that level of detail right now that I care too much about it. There. Check with the shield. That's pretty close, man. Like I'm relatively happy with that. Obviously this leg here, like there's some unfinished aspects here. I think for the leg, I want to go with this color maybe. Although I actually like that gray. Um, just this dark gray, just to imply that it's like it's not part of his. It might be some kind of chainmail he's wearing underneath or something. If that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, there's just a bit of messy junk here that I what layer is this? Left leg, I think. Yeah. Is that the color I chose right here? Yeah, it is. Okay. So I can just kind of fill that in how I think the leg would look, and it should be about right. So he's like wearing a boot, but he's got legs. And I think the trick here, just really you're basically just implying the legs. And this is a little bit awkward here because it's like all straight and stuff. It might look cool to do something like that, like make his boot visibly larger than like whatever whatever the word I'm trying to say is. See, this like kills the form. There's no illusion of form here anymore. Maybe I need to do like that. This is a slippery slope though, because then maybe I need to do that on every frame or something. Hmm. I mean, I say a slippery slope, but like, how hard is it to do it? It's not that fucking hard. I know I'm doing this on the wrong layer at this point. I don't really care. No, I went way too far there. It just needs to be like, that looks fine. It's a little bit goofy. Like there's a, it doesn't quite look right. I think what I probably need is a darker shade here. Honestly, like I might want to use the outline color, maybe like this darkest shade here, just to imply some kind of like, well, that's not where I would imply it. It would be like here. I think this is going too far though. That does look good. Just it feels like a cast shadow that looks really realistic. When I initially set out to redo this, I was like telling myself I was actually going to simplify it and go like really light on the shading. And I ended up, or the rendering or whatever you want to call it. And I ended up doing even more. So here, um, this would all be like quite dark. This could be lighter. I don't know what I'm doing. I think what would look good is to have maybe like just a hint of lighting there, and then it can. I want to show a little bit of the curve of his leg. I know it doesn't really make. You can see like it's kind of there, and it's showing us it's emphasizing the change of angle. All right, I'm just kind of butchering the layers right now. I'm gonna come to regret this later probably, but I'm just I don't want to have to switch layers right now. It's just one of those things like I can just quickly I'm kind of in the zone on this. I just want to get this blocked in and not have to fiddle about with the layers over and over. Yeah, I think this darker color really helps here. That looks so good. Where's his other foot? His other foot, he's like floating. What? This is the problem with it. I got so close to removing this shield so many times. Where's the frame that he has no foot? This one. So no, he literally doesn't have a foot. Okay. Because it's like right here. I need to remedy. I just need to put that in there. It just looks awful. Um, okay. Copy that here. Oh, undo. I'm gonna put it on, yeah, Bert's underneath. Why is that not underneath anymore? This is Bruce underneath. Okay. Fuck. All right. Do I need to make a more underneath layer now? No, let's just like, I'm just gonna erase the bottom of this and hope I guess right. There basically just needs to be something. I did get out of here. There needs to just be something there. Looks like ass. Let's see how it looks in motion. There's like a janky, yeah. This basically I need this color here and just do like this. I don't even know. Like I just need to look correct. I think that's about right. Yeah, I'm cool with that. So I had these antlers. I'm getting somehow I just never feel convinced by them. I think the character definitely needs something like the antlers though to really like feel like a character. Um, okay, I'll do it. So yeah, we have to do this whole game again. Down. Oh, it's already down. Okay, down and left. I think we can kind of just puzzle piece this here. So I'm realizing a kind of cool thing I can do that might look nice is drawing a cast shadow underneath the antler, but really it's probably going to be like detail overkill and it won't really add anything. It kind of looks cool. Like the problem is it almost looks like if I'm using the same value as this, which I shouldn't do because it looks like a hole in his head. Yeah, I think hmm, I'm unconvinced. I think I just leave it like that. So the other thing I was noticing that felt a bit off here was I think this hand, this axe hand is like too he's like clutching it. It should be like out more. I'm not sure. I'll try it. I'll bring it out more. And it's actually really easy to draw the arm and stuff. I think it will look good. So this is his left hand. So I'm going to select this entire thing. It's locked. Okay, it's locked. Just bring it out like here, maybe. I'm like squinting, pretending his arm isn't flailing around like a broken string. I'm gonna put my finger over it, I guess. I'm not sure, man. Like, I think it's, I guess I just need to draw the arm in correctly here. I'm going to use this color. I think I was already using that color, but yeah, I was. Okay. Um, yeah. And I am just going to like redraw this every time. It's honestly faster than copying pasting at this point. Like, and I can get a little bit more realistic movement maybe. It's kind of annoying. I have this like lower part of it that's always there. So I'm drawing like, I don't know, I'm trying to imagine where his arm would actually be based on like, then you get this like elbow bending, which looks good. Here we got like he's stepping down. I don't know, whatever. Honestly, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. There's only this is like so few pixels that there's only so many combinations that would ever make sense for his arm here. So you can kind of just go with whatever is correct looking for the angle and stuff like that. Doesn't actually look right because it's like his arm straightens out for no reason. um I think the trick is to draw the this going down every time because it's always going to be bent. He's not going to suddenly unbend his arm, and then once you've done that it's like, okay, well, it has to come back up here, and then you get whatever like that's off. And then you just kind of look at it and it's like, does it look like his arm would actually see? That still doesn't look right. Yeah, every frame so far has looked fine until this one. Maybe, yeah, I think that's about right. What's happening here? So he's like raising his arm to keep the axe steady, um, which probably can just do this. Yeah. Although, see, like here, his arm is suddenly getting smaller, which isn't right. Yeah, we can just literally raise it up here. Then that just looks good. That feels like it's bending. This pixel might be too much. Yeah, that's fine. All right, I think we got it all. Let's see how that looks. Mm, his arm is looking a little bit like a noodly wave. And I think the main reason for that is it needs to just be coming down more, like on every single frame. I think it's like fine to just make his arm thicker. It's a weird thing with animation. Sometimes it's like everything looks fine as you're going like single frame by single frame, and then you play it and it just doesn't look right. So I think here there's this kind of this isn't allowed. I'm gonna go for a more static approach here when possible, at least. And what I mean by that is like it's fine if it like really when you think about it, having the arm move around a lot doesn't make sense from a perspective of like you don't really want the viewer to notice that the arm is moving around a lot because there's so much other stuff moving. The arm is just like a thing that's holding. Here we have too many pixels down here at that one frame. It looks like, again, it looks like a wave, like right here. And you can see like frame by frame, you're like, oh, well, that makes sense because his elbow is coming out or something, but we just can't have that many pixels moving in a single frame. And here, something still looked off there. Let's check it. I do think the shoulders are moving too much, probably in general. I kind of like that. Like this frame here is bad. The idea here is that he's stepping down. Like if you look at, he's been moving. Yeah, the reason this is bad is like he's been moving down for like several frames. I guess the idea was like he's like pulling his shoulders back as he steps down or something, but I don't think that makes enough sense. We can do it like one less. Just okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, that already looks better. I know that I do like that one frame where it pops up a little bit, but we had just too much crazy movement going on. All right, back to the arm. There's a frame where this happens. It doesn't look good. Just undo that. Get back on the arm. What if I? No, I'll just fill it in. We can really. I'm gonna just fill a bunch of these in. It's one of those things like, is anyone really going to look at this and be like, wow, his arm is thick, man. His arm is too thick. I don't think anyone's going to say that. That looks good. I'm noticing I'm missing an outline on on the shoulder here. And I actually want that outline back because it separates the shoulder because this is a background arm and we don't want that blending together really. Right. I think we're close to done here. I'm pretty happy with that. Um, I may go in and do like, and actually I've rendered the armor so much that the axe is actually looking under rendered right now. I probably need to go in and give it like an extra kind of streak of like darker. Let me try to do that now. I kind of want to end the video because it's been about an hour. Left arm. I just want to try this while I still at it. So maybe this color. Oh, left hand. I don't even know if this is going to make any sense, but definitely not. I was thinking a darker color, honestly. It's just like we already are using that to get the bottom of the axe. You know what it more likely is that I switched the lighting to the top so that this wouldn't be like this anymore. Although that did look good. That does look better now. I mean, this can be really shiny because it's an axe. That does look good. And then I think actually like this part would be like super dark and should just have a heavy outline. And I've been wanting to delete that pixel forever, by the way. You can see the difference there. Like I think, yeah, this really helps give some dimensionality to it compared to having it here. I like this made the point feel sharper or something, but I think this actually is better. And frankly, like this, let me check what values I have here. Oops. That's the okay. I do think the edge needs to be a different value, but what is going on with this color, by the way? I guess it just looks very similar to the background color, so it's throwing my eyes off a bit. Um, this probably shouldn't have any black on the top of the outline. Yeah, it shouldn't. And do like that helps with the three. Actually, that makes it look more sideways than I want it to be. So maybe I even take that away. No, that loses all the form. Yeah, it's close. I think that's really like what I actually want though is like, is there any way for me to get like draw so that the blade is pointing forward almost? I think I would need to redraw it with more perspective. Like let's say this were the back, smaller, and then you have like it's it's really hard to do this shape with perspective. So then you have like I'm not obviously not going to do it like this, but you have like this form which has to go down further. And then you have like that curve happening. It looks god awful. I'm just trying to find that curve here. This would almost be. You can see why I just didn't draw it like that. I don't know, dude. I think this is fine. I think I'm overthinking it. Though I will say, um, one thing that's kind of popping out to me is this is a little bit off, I think. Also, I need to redo the axe and all the frames. But the shoulders here, the reason I did this is it started to look too much like pillow shading. And so I was like, well, what if there's a cast light there? Um, Because see, as soon as you do that, that looks good. I think the problem is there just wouldn't be that light there. And if we did have it, it could be over here, maybe. Yeah, that's fine. And honestly, like, this, we've gone to this level of rendering. Like, I think I would do like this here. Like, this is one of the darkest spots you would have. The problem with that is it loses form. Like, you can see the difference here. This is like telling you the shoulder, whatever that thing is, the shoulder armor is like in front of his head. This is like his head is over the shoulder armor, which really isn't what's going on. So I guess we'll just go back and leave it like that. Well, thanks for watching. I'm probably gonna do an attack animation soon on this guy, which is gonna be a little bit tricky because I'm not sure how, like, I might want to have him face forward and swipe across his body, which wouldn't be too hard, but and I think it would look cool. So one thing I am noticing, like, let me do something here. Let me give a regular, okay, that's a good pose. Let's just put these next to each other at the end here. I can draw his shadow, that will help too. The shadows really help the animations, honestly. One thing I'm noticing is like the level of detail on these sprites doesn't quite fit together. Um, like I intentionally didn't render her body at all because it's just so small and like it's a dress. What I tried to do is like you can see when it's animated, it looks better, but like actually I did it on the walk animation, but not the shooting, where I kind of implied some value on that band by like showing what part of her dress is coming up or down or whatever. Um, but there is some concern I have that these don't. She almost looks flat to me compared to him, but I think when she's moving, it doesn't look that flat, really. So if they're both moving, I think it's okay. Um, the other thing is I could just get a little bit of extra like rendering. That's too much, but that's the problem I've been having with this character is like if I do that, it's like it just feels like so much. Like that's so it, he's got really shiny armor, but her hair wouldn't be that shiny. It's already a light color. Her eyes are 2 pixels. Like what can I do? I tried putting like different values on her legs, didn't look right either. Although there are things like this is just not right. I don't know why I have it like that, but that will help to make some of these outlines less chunky. I could also like consider strategically breaking up certain outlines like her dress at the bottom maybe doesn't need the outline. um but I mean in general she's very heavily outlined, so he's just bigger, so he's heavily outlined too, but he's bigger. um maybe this is a little bit too light, you know. Problem is I don't really have another dark value to use there. Maybe like that is better. That actually does help quite a bit, doesn't it? Like I wouldn't say they look like they're from two different games or anything. but I don't know. We'll have to see how it looks when they're both in the game and animating together and stuff. Thanks for watching. Bye.